Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Apex Greatness. No bets today. I am your host, Russell Broderick. This way is Dario Albuquerque. And his cat.
I feel like a mafia member petting my cat while we do our bets.
How are we doing today, sir?
Doing all right.
I can handle being all right today. So wait, I wanted to open today with the sports book because I was just thinking about, well, you actually asked me this question earlier today about MVPs.
Yeah.
And
you see, the shit we talk about on this podcast, we talk about in real life, just normally. So we figured might as well make a podcast and let you guys listen to our conversations.
It's crazy.
If you guys wondered why this podcast was
exists, why it exists. Because we have big egos and we think that other people need to hear our voices. That's the reason. No. All right. But I have no idea who's going to win the MVP this year. So I wanted to look at the voting because.
Oh, I do.
I feel like by this, it's like Vegas says, or DraftKings Sportsbook says, Russell Wilson by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
it's close. It's actually
open.
Closer now than it's ever been.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's really close and there's a bunch of different guys. And if you were betting though, based on these odds, who would you pick? You could give me two answers. Give me your number one MVP, like who you think is going to win, and then who you would bet on, like to try to,
My MVP as of now, like after the 7 weeks or however many weeks there's been, I have Russell Wilson as MVP, and I'm pretty confident that he would win MVP.
So does Vegas.
And I think he solidifies his spot in the next 3 to 4 games because it's supposed to be I think the next few games are supposed to be a tougher slate for them, and if they could win a couple of them, I think he'll. Is it? Oh, it doesn't show.
But these are the games he's played so far. Just 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. They only have lost to the Cardinals last week. They were undefeated before that.
Yeah. And if anyone after last week is just saying there's no way he could win MVP, you guys are just being haters.
Well,
that you're looking for a reason to just kick him right out because
if we're looking at it
clear-cut MVP before this.
If we're looking at it from a historical perspective, Pat Mahomes won the MVP award in the same exact spot 2 years ago with the team that didn't have a lot on defense or just wasn't stopping anybody on defense, but they were on fire every play, every drive, getting to the end zone or field goal or getting some sort of points, and he won. He won the MVP award hands down. So historically, that guy, if without him, like if they had, let's pick somebody in the middle here. If they had Kirk Cousins, I don't think their win-loss record is as good as it is.
Oh, what? Their win-loss record is whatever the Minnesota Vikings win-loss. They have the same situation that happened. Like, they pretty much have their defense went to shit, and then they got screwed, and he can't win a fucking game without his life. I mean, for his life. But if I had to, my favorite for MVP right now is Russell Wilson, and then if I had to pick someone as could I pick two? Or do I have to pick the
I just wanted your heart's pick and then your head's pick from a gambling perspective.
Oh, if I'm gonna gamble on someone, I'm going with Kyler Murray because I think Kyler Murray is put in a pretty good position to because he already beat the MVP. Yeah, but he already beat that MVP straight up head to head, and the MVP looked bad. And then you got another. He has another chance towards the end of the year to solidify that. But he's been playing insane. Like Kyler Murray and adding DeAndre Hopkins, and just knowing how, like, usually quarterbacks in their second year, or at least there's been a string of quarterbacks in their second year that win the MVP. In their second year, because the team, that's when the team is best because of the cap space and all the other stuff. So I think he has a good chance to make an MVP case.
What's been crazy since we just talked about the historical Mahomes perspective,
Yep.
Kyler Murray's got the historical perspective of last year's MVP with Lamar Jackson, with all this rushing and this insane production on the ground. Touchdown almost every game on the ground. Crazy.
Yeah. But he's actually, like, he has the Lamar speed and running ability, but I think his throwing is significantly better than Lamar's.
Well, his accuracy has been weird this year. Like, it's been very up and down. Like, we've got one of this game that he had against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of these here that are a little bit better, but he's usually he was seen coming out of college as more like efficiency was the name of his game. But now the name of his game is throwing it to Hopkins.
And it's really funny because if you look at this guy, like when I was watching the Seattle and Arizona game, it was literally like they had the same quarterback on both sides because they like played so similar, and they like even like the stature, the size, everything. It was pretty funny to look at.
But for me,
I think if I'm gonna bet to put $100 and get $1,800 for Kyler right now, I feel like he has a good shot too.
Earlier today, before we did the podcast, you were asking me why people aren't talking about Pat Mahomes, but by odds, from the odds perspective, you can definitely see that.
Yeah, well, and it's because
it's not really seen that much as an underdog.
Yeah. Well, everybody you speak to, even you, like you like made it. You felt like
I just feel Mahomes, like in comparison, to other guys this year, I don't know if I'd have him over other guys.
To other guys, I think people are comparing him too much to himself, and that's why he's not.
Well,
I think you look at 50 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and then you're looking at this, and you're like, oh, that's not the best you could do.
This is the best defense he's ever had, which is hurting his MVP case. As stupid as that sounds, but it's true.
But it doesn't make sense because you got Brady there who has the best defense that he's had in a long time, probably, and it's literally the reason his team is great is the defense. It's not his offense. Their offense isn't like blowing people out of the roof to me. Like, I feel like it's their defense that's really making, like, the Aaron Rodgers game, the core like thing that was talked about was the defense. Like, we didn't even care about what happened in the offense that week because the defense just killed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, that was the case. That's the one thing about that is, another thing is when two MVP candidates like that go head to head, and one comes out as the clear victor, people remember that shit when they go vote.
Yeah.
Whether that's fair, because I guess technically Tom Brady's not out there guarding receivers, like whether that's how fair that is it's just kind of a basketball mentality that makes us feel like it's not fair. Because it's like they're not guarding each other technically.
Yeah.
But from people always remember that when they go vote from a football standpoint. And he's an ancient human. He's the big 4-3.
Yeah.
He has 20 years in the league. This is easily the best 20th season of any athlete in Big Four history, like any MLB so far. I mean, barring injury.
Of a 43-year-old, yeah.
Of year 20?
Oh, year 20. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, usually when they're year 20, they're in basketball, their minutes are dwindled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about baseball, but I don't know a lot of guys in year 20 that are putting in this kind of work and being considered MVPs of the league. But I thought that would be a good icebreaker. With that said, let's break it down as we do every week. Week 8. This is going to be a different kind of week because there are several games here where wind or weather is going to play some sort of factor. What I've learned is weather is not as bad as wind. If wind is a factor, that fucking sucks. It's harder for quarterbacks to throw. It's harder for kickers to get field goals in. It's pretty much harder for everybody but running backs. And then if you know that the other team is running, it makes it pretty easy to stop.
Yeah.
So it leads to pretty boring football. So I'm hoping that the weather kind of turns a little bit better in some of these games, but there
works out a little bit.
This is easily the most of the year where we're going to be looking at like ownership, weather, and fucking efficiency and production. But with that said, first game, a game that involves none of that shit because it's in a dome. We have the Detroit Lions taking on the Indianapolis Colts. What do we got in terms of over-unders for this?
So for points, the over-under is 49.5. Okay. Which I was super surprised about. I didn't think that this was going to be a super high-scoring game. Especially, did the Colts defense, like, is something wrong with it? Because
did someone die? Did somebody?
Yeah, like, I'm like, they were a top defense in the league just, like, 2 weeks ago. So
I think bye weeks make people a lot of times, especially teams that aren't, like, on the map like that. Like, look at the Colts here. They're 3,100. Let's see what their prices were before they left. We had this was a $4,000 defense that dropped $900 because they didn't do everything that they usually do. But this is a team that's been putting up points on pretty much everybody all year round. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, the last 2 weeks they've been giving up 30 points a game.
So the last 2 weeks, it was 24 points and 27. But from a fantasy perspective, they're still getting interceptions. And my thing here, I always look at this, and I bring this up every week now. The lack of a pass rush is scary, but I know that they have linemen there that can get it done. I think it's just a matter of time there.
Yeah.
And the Lions, they've been throwing. I mean, since Galladay's come back, Stafford's numbers have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
He got to the bonus last week, finally, against Atlanta. But everybody seems to get to the bonus against Atlanta.
Yeah. He almost got it against Chicago, and Chicago's a really good defense, too.
True, but that's in division. I almost...
Oh, yeah, true.
Especially a guy like Stafford, who's probably played the Bears double-digit times in his career.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily throwing it out, but I am saying he knows them better.
When it comes to betting, especially betting on games when you're betting who's going to win, over on this, stuff like that, division rivalries matter a lot because that, like, I would, like, yesterday's game against Atlanta, I didn't want to bet on it because the over-under was, like, 52. And it's like, you'd expect people to put up a lot of points against Atlanta and a lot of points against Carolina. And look at them. They went well under. So
we got to the over-under's 50 on DK Sportsbook.
Okay, yeah.
Plus minus, it's only 3-point spread. Hold on. I wanted to find. Sometimes they have. Okay, game props.
And I don't know if you know this because I don't know how often you bet, but when there's a 3-point line, it's pretty much even. They usually
that's what I figured. Yeah, that's why I brought it up because I was like, sometimes they have fantasy point.
They're saying it's anybody's game, and I
feel like that's not. I feel like the Colts are going to kill them. Is that?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm confused. I'm like, I don't know why I didn't even bet. I just don't like to bet on, especially knowing that they're a division. It's a division game and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I get worried about betting on shit like that.
If we think the Colts are going to kill them, that means why not Jonathan Taylor?
I would definitely play Jonathan Taylor. I don't see why not. Oh, especially against their run defense.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
they're one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Against the run. in a plus matchup, or we see it as a plus matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna. I can't.
I just want to see him get more attempts. I'm hoping that happens coming out of the bye week here. That's the other thing. The Colts are coming out of their bye.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were to do Taylor, I wouldn't do a full stack, but if I was to do Taylor Colts defense, I'd be happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
So you don't see? Do you see that game going over 50 points?
That means both teams got to get to 25?
Yeah, at least.
No. I see it like a 31-17 type game. Am I crazy?
Okay. I could see that. I could see something like that, yeah. I could see a 27-17, something like that.
Yeah.
But like a 10-point game.
Yeah, but would you play... This is the thing. Colts defense is good. So, like...
Yeah.
You got to think about...
That's why I'm so surprised at that spread. Like, I don't know.
You got to think
about... And it throws you off
Galladay.
Because sometimes, like, for whatever reason, like, freaking Vegas knows shit. Like, they're the one that creates these lines. I'm like, yo, you look at it and you're like, why would they put that line? And then you bet against it, and it's like, wow, I see exactly why when you watch the game, and you're like, fuck, I didn't expect this to happen.
Kenny Galladay's done, like, great every game that he's played so far this year. He's either gotten you 100 yards or a touchdown in either game in a month.
Oh, the last two games, you're saying?
He's either, but if he didn't get you the touchdown in the last two, he got you 100 yards.
Oh, a touchdown. Oh, you said a touchdown or 100 yards. My bad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you're trying to just do a fully correlated lineup and you showed me something like this, I'm not gonna kill this. You know what I mean? To start from.
Yeah.
Like if you're just looking for like a secondary stack.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, I like that.
I like going with this. But there's if you looked at me and said Galladay's getting cuffed this weekend, I would be like, yeah, Colts defense is good.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot of plays that I really like here.
I wouldn't really play either quarterback. I don't know. I don't.
Well, Rivers doesn't throw unless he absolutely has to.
Yeah, and he doesn't throw deep either. Like, I feel like when I see him play, like I feel like his arm is like broken or something. Like when I see him throw,
he's always had that no, but Phillip Rivers, he's always had that weird side arm motion, giving you some of this action. Yeah. But
I know this is off topic, but you think that he's the worst quarterback out of his class, out of Ben, Eli himself?
So I feel like that's super unfair for a lot of reasons.
Why?
Because I feel like the Chargers, I don't know. Phillip Rivers has had great years. He's had years where he's thrown for well over 4,000 yards. Like he's been clutch at times, but like whatever happens with Phillip Rivers, it's always like he doesn't know how to win easy.
Yeah.
He wins the ugliest ways possible in the NFL for whatever reason. And for that reason, it's even harder to play him in Draftkings. Last game against Cincinnati was really the only game where it was justifiable that you could play him.
Yeah.
That
first game, he had 360 yards, but he had 2 INTs.
At 5,900, who else is around him at his price point? You got Kirk Cousins.
I'll go Nicky Foles before I go with that bit.
You want his beautiful juicy 8 points?
Yeah, facts.
Delicious.
I'll go Nicky Foles before.
I mean, we'll get to that game.
I'm not so with you. I won't.
Cam Newton has got. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. I feel weird recommending him, but he does have a floor if he decides to run.
Yeah, he might die again, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I don't. That one's tough. Derek Carr. Is it Derek Carr? Derek Carr. We're gonna get to him.
Yeah, Derek Carr. Yep.
There's a couple.
Yeah, just stay away from those quarterbacks, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. There's other guys to be played. The only reason I could see people playing those quarterbacks though is just because of all these weather situations we're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
And
if this was a reporter asking me this question, I'd tell him next question. Minnesota Green Bay, what's up?
We're fucking. We're on to the Packers. Packers Vikings. So wind, right? Wind.
Well, that don't matter if Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball.
I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure it matters, no matter who.
He throws lasers. Have you seen him throw before?
Yes.
He throws rockets.
So does Pat Mahomes, but snow affected him.
Yes, snow. Now, wind never affects Pat Mahomes.
Dude,
he literally just goes.
It's gonna be like it's not like 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's like
yeah, unless 30, there's gust.
40.
Unless there's gust, he's throwing lasers all day.
Hold on, we gotta find. And their over-unders have gone down dramatically. Windy, 0%.
Yeah, they're at 50. Their over-under is 50.
Hold on, we got to get it on the weather app.
Weather, IBM. If you don't use this weather app, you don't know what you're doing, bro. Facts. This gives you all the latest
and most importantly, we're not
most
sponsored
accurate
by them.
and most accurate. Yeah.
Not sponsored by them at all. All right.
Yeah. Fuck the Weather Channel. We don't give a shit about that channel.
What are you talking about right now? Okay. So at 1:00 when this game's supposed to be played, as of right now, the Weather Channel says 25-mile-an-hour winds. That sucks dick. There's really no getting around that. It sucks. I'm not happy about it. You're not happy about it. Yeah. I would monitor that all weekend long. Continue to monitor it.
Yeah, just imagine a slow car pushing you. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. You and I have been
throw against that slow car.
You and I have been to college where that's like a typical day, like just a regular old Wednesday.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's 25-mile-an-hour winds.
We used to be in wind tunnels, and that shit used to push us like this. I used to have to walk like 8.
Imagine throwing a football on that shit.
Yo.
So with that said, Aaron Rodgers was going to be a really good play this week. I was really looking forward to going like this, to going Aaron Rodgers, Jamal Williams, Devontae Adams, and Valdez, and bringing it back with bringing it back with my man Dalvin Cook, and calling it a game stack like that.
Oh, you go Dalvin Cook? I would. Why not Thielen?
Because I like the Packers passing people. Like I like Jair Alexander, who plays corner for them, and I just like that they do really well against wide receivers.
But wouldn't you say they do well against the deep ball? More so than because like when they faced Tampa Bay, it was all inside game. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but that's also because Tom Brady can make that happen, and I'm not putting my faith in Kirk Cousins on the road.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's gonna have to throw so much that.
See, this is the game. This is the game script you're expecting with no weather problems. When you add 25-mile-an-hour winds, all of a sudden both running backs turn into huge smash plays because then you can't really play these guys and you're stuck with this. Like again,
I didn't realize you. Yeah, Jamal Williams. My bad. Yep.
But what Aaron Jones not playing, that's the play. Or there's a guy who did not pop in the last game. He wasn't really used last week either, but if it's going to be like this and you expect the running game to be overutilized, A.J. Dillon's in play.
So you think
that's tough. That's tough. I'm just saying it's tough. I'm not like recommending
the wind is totally going to dictate the whole game?
Well, I think if it's 25-mile-an-hour winds like they're saying, yes. If it's 10 to 15, nah. But if it's over 20, that fucks a lot of shit up. That makes balls leave people's hands and then corkscrew in the air for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it's blocked by God.
They need to just invest in domes.
You're telling me. But we're outside. We're at Lambeau Field. But Jamal Williams, very serviceable. If he's going to get the same 20 carries on the ground, and he's a receiving back, so this is good no matter what. I like Jamal Williams this week. I just don't know if he's going to be chalk.
Yeah.
He was pretty high owned last week, but it didn't really matter. He wasn't so owned that it like killed you. Like Kamara was 50%. That killed you.
Yeah. For the viewers that are screaming about this, the the win-loss, it's 6.5 Packers.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be that kind of game? You think they're going to win by a touchdown, or?
So
in a game like that, I don't know if I'm 100% just saying they're going to win with a touchdown. Like, I feel like,
yeah, Draftkings has it at 6.5, over under 50. I think this game's going to be really close because of the weather, and it's in division.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if Dalvin Cook's healthy after 2 weeks of, or after an extra week of rest,
yeah,
I can see a universe where that's, I don't know. I could just see this being like a 21-24 type game.
Yeah, that line is because
this line is
Packers
close.
Smashed them. No, I'm talking about the 6.5. Yeah, it's because they smashed them in the first game.
Yeah, so that's another good point to bring up, and that's why I wanted to play Aaron Rodgers originally. I'm gonna talk about him like there is no kind of weather problems. If there's no weather problems, Aaron Rodgers is going to dominate them.
Mm-hmm. He always dominates them too. Even when they had great defenses, he was wilding.
Yeah, he plays really well against them.
He says, "I lay my cock down
hard," and Devontae Adams, when he plays, he just breaks his career high in receiving yards. No big deal. Every single he's played 4 games, and 2 of them he's broken his own career high. So there's that. And the Vikings is one of those teams. So again, if we hear different about the weather, then all these guys are in play. But right now, I would suggest strictly the running backs and the running game.
Yeah. Seems like a freaking shitty week already.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse too. We got a couple of those to talk about, including this one.
So for
Pittsburgh
that game,
Baltimore,
we got, and this I have as a shockingly. I don't know why this is shocking, but this is one of my upsets for the week.
Yeah,
I got the Steelers winning this game, straight up too. I'm not even giving them the points. Because I want to get the most money possible. If you guys want to make some money, do that bet. Trust me.
It's like I know I have it.
The over under on win is on the wins or whatever is Baltimore by 4.5, which I'm shocked by, and then the over under on points is 46.5. So, and I can see this being a pretty low scoring game because I think it's just going to be tough for both teams to score.
This is the weather that I want to see in like something like 56% chance of rain is not terrible. That's like, if I'm not too worried about that. And 10-mile-an-hour winds, again, I'm not too stressed out by this. Like, and because it's supposed to start before lock, we'll know if the weather's really hitting them hard before.
Yeah.
So it's another. You kind of have to be an amateur weatherman when you do this shit.
Yeah.
But that's the game we play. So I don't even understand that.
How are the Ravens?
How are the Ravens favored in this game? I need to look this up for myself.
They're going against literally one of the best run defenses, and the Ravens' run offense actually hasn't been that great this year, or at least to me. I don't know. Like, I've been following it, and it doesn't look like.
It's crazy.
I don't see people really. I don't see them really wanting to know. And you're gonna force Lamar to pass, and he has proven this year that he can't go over 200 yards really. So it's like.
Yeah, I don't know why it changed all of a sudden. Like, he was making a shit ton of progress last year. Obviously, he won MVP. But
and I don't know if it's 100% his doing though, because I feel like his team is like last year he wanted that progress and his team was willing to let him like throw the ball more and stuff, but they still were really more run heavy anyways. But this year it's like he wants to show that he could throw, and they're like, no, they're like, we just stick to running. And it's
I think. This is my thing. The last game in which Lamar played a team of this caliber was against Kansas City, who has the same personnel offensively as Pittsburgh. No? Am I wrong to think that?
No, I think
they have 3 pretty damn good wide receivers. They have Eric Ebron. They have James Conner, who could get 100 yards as long as he doesn't hurt himself. And they have Big Ben, who's played pretty well.
Offensively. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Defensively. My bad. I thought you meant defensively. I'm like,
the last
defensively,
time,
I'm like, I don't know.
I'll get to that in a second. But the last time Baltimore faced a team with this personnel, they got torched.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar, as you just talked about, is going up against the best run defense in the league. And if you look at previous games where Lamar Jackson has faced the Steelers, he has at least one turnover in every game, either a fumble or an interception.
I didn't even know that.
And
I was just thinking this is the first time he's faced Big Ben.
I looked up before the show.
I thought that was going to already be enough pressure for him.
Fuck me, is that true?
That's going to be a main. Yeah.
Fuck.
Big Ben was out last year, and
you sure he was injured the year? I know he's been battling injury for a few years now, but there's definitely a world where I can see the Big Ben stack being like very underplayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because everybody's going to run away from that. Who's going to be the two receivers you pick? Oh, no.
That's what I'm doing.
Going against Johnson. I don't want him. No.
You're crazy. No. You can't do that. It's a system thing. What do we talk about all the time?
I know, but I just hope that it's not him. I hope it's Juju.
It's gonna be both of them. Look, man. When
you think it's gonna be Juju, him? What about Claypool? Yeah,
he's the third guy. They play two receiver sets. At the end of the day, when Deontay Johnson is healthy, he gets the targets. Period. Yeah. There's no getting around that. Unfortunately, I think Claypool might be the best talent out of all three of them.
Yeah,
but Deontay Johnson has to hurt himself, or Juju. Otherwise, he's not getting on the field. And Juju had a really nice game last week where he got 14 targets.
Oh, they both got double-digit targets.
If that happens again, this stack is money.
That's two number one receivers right there. Number one receiver target share.
And when I look at Mahomes, right? Mahomes against Baltimore, 43 points, 385, 4 touchdowns. If Mahomes is an A+, Ben at this point in his career is like a B+, right? Is that fair? Maybe a little bit better? I mean, sure. At most A-, let's say. But he's still 13, 4 interceptions, and 3 of them came in the last game. So he was having a really solid and efficient season before last week's game.
My only thing is go to Big Ben again. What defense has he faced that he's done really well against?
That's fair. That's a good point.
Okay. That matters a lot too. Like going against Baltimore's defense is one of the best defenses in the league. What? Just because Mahomes did what he did to them, but no one else has been able to do that.
I say the same thing to you here. What good offenses outside of Kansas City, elite offenses, have they faced?
Yeah.
Say the same thing.
These are questions. I mean, Cleveland now, at the time, no one expected Cleveland to be good.
Yeah.
But right now,
they put up 6
pretty
points.
Good. Yeah, they only put up 6 points.
And then Cincinnati put up big points against Cleveland twice. 3 points.
Yeah.
But against Kansas City, who I'm going to say it again, they have very similar personnel to the Steelers offensively. Very similar personnel. And they put up 34 points. I think that's what's going to happen. And the Steelers haven't put up less than 26 points this year.
Yeah.
So I think Pittsburgh's going to win by possibly double digits, which I think will be very shocking. I definitely think they'll. I don't see what universe the best run defense in the league who stopped Derrick Henry dead in his tracks after a 200-yard week. I just think that's crazy. Lamar is the antithesis of Derrick Henry as a runner, the exact opposite. But I don't know. I think that run defense is something to stay away from at all costs.
Yeah.
But if you want to go Ben Roethlisberger to get different in tournaments, go for it. Yeah,
if y'all want to win some money too, you put Pittsburgh to win straight up. Put $20 on that, you get a nice little 40.
So this is another game that I've heard has let's see if this one's got any wind. Where the hell is this Cardinals game.
Fody Shody. This is another one. I was all over that one. I was like, yeah, I really bugged out. I was really confused at the lines, like why I'd expect it to be like a 10-point. Oh, now it's going up. That's good. When I bet on it, it was a 6-point line. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely putting Tennessee to win. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee to win by 6.
But here's another game, man. Of course. Look, here's another game.
And that's awesome. You want to know why? Because that just means Derrick Henry is going to go insane. And I don't think there's anything the Bengals could do about it.
Do you think that what I was talking about earlier about stacking the box against a guy like this?
Oh, you 100%. That's what you do. Especially in these weather conditions, that's what I would...
Do you think it's going to matter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a way to, like, control it. Like,
so I'll ask again.
If you don't stack the box, he's going to put up 40 points on you. He's going to do that again. Whatever he did against Houston, he's going to do that again if you don't stack the box on him. Especially
but what I'm saying is, in the event of high wind again, do you think that if they stack the box on Derrick Henry, can they stop him from getting 100 yards and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns?
Oh, no.
Okay, so then
I don't know about the touchdown, but I could definitely see him. Getting over 100 yards.
I need the touchdown,
especially the way he just the way I don't know. He could very well, like, because of the way they play him, you could expect a touchdown. But
here's why we need the touchdowns.
He's gotten a touchdown in almost every single game.
Here's why we need the touchdowns. In games in which he doesn't get the touchdowns, his fantasy point total suffers. Like, even in this game where he had 2 touchdowns, he still didn't get over 20 points because he is borderline non-existent in the passing game. They used to give him these awesome screen passes that he would take to the house, but I haven't seen any of those except for one against Houston. But if you're telling me Derrick Henry's getting the ball like this many times,
at least one of his stiff arms, 100%. At least one of those stiff arms we see him.
So then he's got to be in the lineup.
Yeah.
Again.
And
go ahead.
And I like Tennessee winning that. I like Tennessee winning by more than a touchdown too. The Bengals are decent, but I don't see them really stopping Tennessee that much. They're like a buzzsaw.
The Bengals are really good offensively, and Derrick Henry.
Well, the defense. If you watch
Tennessee, they haven't really won by more than a touchdown that many times this year. Only once against Buffalo.
Yeah. Every
other one has been very close. Extremely close, actually.
Wow, that's surprising.
But I would say, with Joe Burrow coming off his best game as a pro so far, and he's a runner, like he'll go and he'll take off and run with it. Yeah. I think if the wind goes down at all, if it goes down to 10 miles an hour, I think everybody's in play in this game matchup. Like, I would do a full game. This is one of those full game stacks for me where I kind of look at it like this. I'll go Burrow.
What is the wind looking like? What did we say?
They said 20 miles an hour. We saw before.
Oh my god.
But
this is disgusting.
I know. Don't even get me started. And then this and that, and then literally that's that. Look at this. Look how sexual this is.
That's crazy. They still got AJ Green that low. They're not respecting him at all.
Yeah, AJ Brown finally got the other way around. Yeah, AJ Green. That's another one. Wind or no wind, AJ Green's average depth of target has decreased immensely, which is a good thing if there's a lot of wind because they can't throw it that far. You know what I mean? So if he's doing the little Michael Thomas routes, he's
been getting a lot of targets lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, fuck yeah. But they're low average depth of targets. Like they're low A dots, which means they're closer to line of scrimmage.
Shit, if it's 4,500 and you're giving me 15 points, I'm cool with that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And like he finds my way into a lot.
And imagine a tutty with that. You know what I mean? Like imagine a touchdown with that. That's it. Like,
this is the other thing. You ready for this? No one or AJ Green is tied for either first or second in red zone or end zone targets. where he's targeted in the end zone, 0 fucking touchdowns.
Yeah.
That will change. It has to change.
Yeah.
Especially if he's going to continue to be targeted.
Especially as Burrow keeps playing and he gets a little bit more used to it. Because you got to think about it. This is his first year. He has to figure out, like obviously he's throwing for a lot of yards, but you see he only got 9 touchdowns.
But look, with 4,800 left per player, you can go Ramsey against the rookie. You can go Keenan Allen, and then you can come down here.
Who's the Chargers playing?
The Broncos. I'm just putting in random guys, just like.
Oh yeah, I love that Keenan
just to fill that out.
Unless this mad.
And then down here you kind of have to look, but I like the stack, and you're not really guessing on too much.
Yeah.
If you want to go that route.
I don't know if I like all of those. Oh, you're going Jono instead of Davis.
Yeah, I love Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, he's had 2 bad games, but I think that's because he was kind of getting over some injuries. Nothing has said he's been questionable in practice, and Cincinnati absolutely blows against the tight end, like by a lot. Like they are the worst. And what do we know about flowcharty tight ends and tight ends? They flowcharts and tight ends are our friend. We attack those.
AJ Brown right now it doesn't even show questionable, but I know yesterday he was questionable because he missed practice.
Yeah.
But he's expected to play. So.
Yeah, he has no injury designation as of 3:00.
Yeah.
But every game he's played since he came back from injury has been fucking fire.
Liddy.
So
I stole him. Just so I gotta give you our weekly updates on how I'll be dogging these people in my fantasy league. While I'm giving you the updates for the week 8, I gotta give you my week 8 dogging season in my fantasy. Just so y'all know.
All right. So we got Las Vegas and Cleveland. Another game. Yet another game affected by weather because it's also in Ohio.
Yeah. Who do you have as a favorite in that game?
Which game?
If you had to guess who was favorite in that game, the Raiders versus the Browns. Who you would think? Who would you have?
I'll guess. If I was gonna say, I think the Raiders by a little bit, but I think it would be really close.
Yeah. So they pretty much are because it's Browns by 2.5.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's really close.
I'm so surprised, but because they're home, they get the 3 points, but they didn't give them the 3 points, so it's really Raiders.
So this shit is so far the worst we've seen yet.
Oh wow!
This fucking
that
blows.
Run game is gonna really.
So if this holds, because this is the other thing, I'm not a fucking weatherman. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say this again. I'm not a fucking weatherman. But
he looks like one, but
all it takes is one little change of direction of the wind for this to change pretty easily. Like that happens with weather. Like if the wind changes direction, then it might avoid. We're looking at it. We just gotta avoid these fucking stadiums here. I'm being desperate. I'm desperate, Dario. I don't want to lose.
I've never heard you try to talk about the weather, but you saying it changes based off the wind in one direction, it could change everything. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard, because I don't even know if that's true. I don't think that's true, but whatever. Let's just say we call him Weatherman Russie. What's up?
I'm praying that some of these fucking change. They can't all be shit.
One little weather shift, and we got this.
Yeah. Hey, they say that with hurricanes. Hilarious. Fucking hurricanes come up the coastline, and it like takes little hair turns left or right, and then it changes who gets fucked at the end of the day. Fucking dude, this was a game I was really looking forward to stacking because the prices are just all so delicious. And if you like, everybody in this game is in play, and you could pretty much stack the entire game and have so much money left over, right? They're all in black clothes. It's really confusing. Fucking, but you can then go here, and then like the lineup construction. Look how beautiful this is, and you're done. That took 30 seconds. Like, but with the wind, now I have to do this. Fucking sucks. I can't even fucking do any of that. I feel like I can't do any of it. I feel like Waller's probably still in play.
Is it even touchable? Like, do you think that anyone should really even touch that game?
Considering all the other garbage on the slate?
It sounds like you. This sounds like you just convinced me not to bet on DraftKings this week.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
It's a minefield. No, I feel like there's certain guys in play. But like Kareem Hunt, I don't think wind affects Kareem Hunt too much. And him fucking mowing over the Raiders' run defense. I just don't see a universe where Kareem Hunt doesn't get his numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're telling me he's getting close to 20 touches, I'm figuring he gets in the end zone at least once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like he's in play regardless of the weather. And then Jacobs, like
that's the game plan too. Just normally with them, they try to establish the run first. So
Jacobs' best fantasy days are when he scores. Period.
How is the Cleveland's run defense though?
They're fifth, but not against running backs. Against fantasy running backs, they're one of the worst. But against the run itself, which doesn't exactly help Josh Jacobs because he catches a little bit more out of the backfield than he did last year, but he's still not getting a lot of volume.
Yeah.
And he's not gaining a lot of yards out of the passing game.
That makes sense. I mean, they have a good amount of receiver.
Well, this is the thing. Again, check your weather before the games, but I would play the running backs, and I would play Waller, and I think about playing Landry, because I think Landry's in a position where he's going to get a ton of targets.
Yeah. At least a double-digit targets, for sure.
He was already getting everything underneath.
Yeah.
So I think he stands to do that again. There's another guy here, Harrison Bryant, who played really well last weekend. I got a tweet from my friend. He sent me the tweet that said Harrison Bryant starting over Njoku, put him in a lineup. That was very fucking fortunate.
I got him.
He finished with 2 touchdowns on fucking 5 targets.
Oh, he did that. He did that last week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. Little lucky, but still good shit against a team like Cincinnati. That's why you play.
When he scored, everyone was like, "Who is this kid?"
But that's why you play the flow chart. Cincinnati, worst in the league against tight ends, and it once again proved to be true. But that's about it, though. Until the weather changes, there's not really a lot you can go with in certain games. You have to check the weather this weekend. This is really the first weekend, though, that we've had to deal with this. So we're fucking 2 months in.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just not gonna complain. But let's keep going.
Though he sounds like he's crying inside, he's not complaining, guys. Don't worry about it. Yo, Josh Allen is 7,000.
Yep,
That's insane. That's the most overpriced guy.
Wow. What makes you say that? Please talk to me about
it. So the only reason for me is I just can't imagine him wilding out on Bill Belichick. And I know this is complete opposite from last.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But the reason,
but Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep, exactly. You want to know why? And you want to know why? It was because of the whole game scheme. For me, I knew it was not going to have anything to do with Jimmy. It was going to be more so to do with the running game,
which it really wasn't. Right?
It was and the defense.
Well, but the Bills have a great defense.
The division rivalry thing that matters a lot when it comes to, especially with these two teams, because Bill Belichick owns that whole division. They believe that he is their father. So that's the only reason I'm a little nervous about that, and I feel like that's overpriced. But I could very well be wrong. I didn't want to bet on that game.
This is the problem here. I've lost all faith in this man. I didn't think 2 points was possible out of Cam Newton this year. I really didn't.
That's a fact. Yeah,
I really didn't.
I know. I remember hearing it. You like.
I saw this game. I saw this game here with 157 and 2 interceptions, and I was like, "This is as low as it gets for him," and he's got 20 points. Like, this was like not in the cards. Like, 5 yards or 19 yards rushing. That's it. No tutties. Like, fuck. That puts me in a very fucking compromising spot with this guy because he's in a good fucking spot. He's in a good spot. But he's got 7 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Would you play Cam Newton against Buffalo?
If, like, for DraftKings, probably not. If I was, like, season long and I didn't have anybody else, you could probably trust him. I don't know. Like, it just sounds so weird because I'm flipping it, but it's not. But I just really feel like when you go against division, it changes everything. Like what you went through throughout the year, they just want to beat each other.
I understand that. I just think,
I could see Cam wanting to kill, and Cam's just been like if you've heard interviews with him this year, I mean this week, he was just like, I have to be better, and he's like talked so much shit about himself that he's like pretty much saying, if I do bad again, I'm gonna get cut, like I'm gonna lose my job or whatever. So he's putting pressure on himself to do well.
So here's the thing. So if you play Cam, stacking him this week
is impossible.
You think it's impossible? I will disagree. Damiere Byrd was getting a shit ton of targets before these guys got injured in these games where he had to throw. Now let's remind the audience. They are not trying to throw the football in New England. They're trying to run the football. Mm-hmm. James White is a guy who gets, like, again, last week they were just, if you're telling me this was like the worst, this is rock bottom for them, I don't think he's only going to get 1 target next week. I think we're going to get back up in the target category, and then he finds his value where he found them against Kansas City and against Denver. Yeah. And I think that's, if you're going to do that, you can do that, and then you can bring it back with Diggs, and that's like, that will be very fucking low owned. The only way I can see it won't be low owned is because of the weather and because of all the different weather problems on these other games.
Yeah.
But fuck it. Billy Maker's $10 this week. Like, you're gonna find there's gonna be uncommon shit because people are gonna feel like, oh, it's half off. Like, people are gonna try shit this week.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wouldn't really touch that game.
If you don't have to. I'm just saying, like, if you don't from a perspective of, like, you're trying to get it. This is like the ultimate contrarian lineup because technically, from a matchup perspective, Dario, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, if you're just looking at it matchup for matchup, and, like, like the Buffalo sucks against the run, and New England hasn't been able to stop anybody through the air.
So if you had to guess the line on this game, because the way you sounded, it sounded like you were really against New England. How much do you think the line would be? Like what? Like in terms of how much? Who do you think is favored and by how much?
I say Bills by 6.
They have Bills by 4.
That's close.
Yeah, that's up. So they have them by less than a touch, which I'm just surprised about because the Bills have played so much better. That you said. Yeah,
they're thinking like you this week.
Yeah, and that's what makes me. And then the over under on that is 40.5. So it's gonna be a low scoring game, and if the Patriots are gonna win, it has to be a low scoring game. If not, I think.
But the Bills just beat the Jets 18-10. The Jets, the worst team in the league. Fucking
yeah.
Outside of the Cowboys, the worst team in the league. Yeah. Definitely the worst team in the AFC.
And that's why I'm like, I could see the Patriots. That's why I don't want to touch that game because usually my biggest thing is I've been betting. Everyone's been even the bets too have been giving the Patriots a little bit more because they think that they're the Patriots, and I'm just like, this is not Bill Belichick, like the normal Bill Belichick defense that you got to worry about.
Yeah.
So like I bet against them multiple times this year. But I'm not doing it this week. I don't know if I want to touch.
Gun to your head. Does Cam Newton get off the schneid?
Get off the what?
Get off the schneid. Does he? What do you call it? Does he bounce back? Does he finally have
a gun to my head? I think Cam Newton has a big game, and I think Patriots win this game.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. If I had to, if someone like put a gun to my head and said you have to bet on this game and you have to give me a clear winner, and I'm betting on the Patriots.
Cam Newton rushing touchdown, yes or no?
C.
Okay. Now we're going to your team. If you had to guess, what do you think Pat Mahomes' ownership is going to be this week?
Oh, it's going to be through.
He's $8,100. I'm pretty sure he's the most expensive quarterback on the slate.
Yeah.
Right. But he's playing a team, and this is the other thing. I've heard this from multiple people, that the Chiefs are going to just run on them. Do you think that's going to happen? Yes or no?
No.
Me neither. I don't think there's a chance in hell.
Andy Reid has
I got Kelsey getting 2 touchdowns this week. I got Kelsey getting 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and then 1 touchdown in the second quarter, and then maybe being done for the game. I could see them all coming out by the end of the third. 100%. But I could see Pat Mahomes smacking everybody.
Yeah. Chiefs don't really change. Chiefs, like if you're playing, your defense is forcing them to like have to take the easy run or something like that. Yeah. But usually their main thing, they want to throw. Like literally you see Patrick Mahomes in the middle of the first quarter and he's in shotgun all the time. Mm-hmm. Every possession down the field is shotgun. He doesn't even like let you think that he's gonna run the ball. So I don't know. But I could definitely see that. I know, like I could see them smashing them and then just letting Le'Veon cook in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what are we doing with this week? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Play him. But don't. He's gonna be high owned.
Oh yeah,
because he's gonna be super high owned.
Way too owned for the actual 30. Volume he's gonna get.
Yeah,
he might finish with a touchdown and like very little amount of yards. He only got 6 touches in the last game.
But you think if he gives you, let's say they let him cook, and
I don't think they do. You think they let him cook?
Towards the end, I think this is gonna be a blow. Well, all right. So Vegas believes this is gonna be a slaughter. So the line originally opened up at 21 points.
Yeah,
and it got bet down, which is I'm like, who bets on the Jets? But I understand because I was contemplating betting against the line too because I'm like, I just can't imagine. I can't bet on a team to win by 3 touchdowns. Like that's just
at the end of the day
insane.
Even though they scored 43 points as a team, Kansas City's offense sucked in Denver. They sucked. They didn't play nearly as well as they usually do, and you can tell by Pat Mahomes' fantasy production. They're going to want to smash everyone on the Jets. All of the humans, all of the defenders. I'm telling you, this is the Mahomes smash game where he throws it to Tyreek Hill twice or Kelsey twice. Like this stack is working this week. I'm bullish on this stack. Now, Kansas City, they're gonna give up points to somebody.
Yeah,
and Crowder this is where
is out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Yes, and so is Brandon Perriman. Oh, this was the one last thing I wanted to talk about. If you want to play Hardman this week, I think he's in play too. Because why not? Because there's everything that I said for Tyreek Hill could totally end up being Hardman.
Games like this, Mahomes just throws to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is the type of game where like Demarcus Robinson gets 2 touchdowns for no fucking reason. Yeah. So like if you want to end up playing Hardman too, I'm okay. But back to the Jets.
Mahomes is my GOAT. Fuck all this Brady talk. Mahomes is my GOAT. What's up?
The
talk to me in the comments.
The position that the Jets throw to the most by a wide margin is the slot. And we've already seen Braxton Berrios earlier in the season get work from that position. That's the guy who I think is going to get the most volume with both these guys out. Now,
bro, you really be on top of your shit because I literally didn't even know who he was.
I got one
like
more
I've never even heard of this guy.
I got one more for you too, and he's sitting right in front of you here. I've brought up Jeff Smith in the past.
Oh man, I wish it was Mims because Mims is a funnier name.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Mims. Last week,
I was joking.
Well, here's the thing, Dario. This is why you can't joke about Jets ever under any circumstances. He got 7 targets last week, man. And he is $3,200. All the Jets receivers this week are 35 and under to play. You could literally pick Berrios is going to get the most volume in a game that they're going to have to throw. Like, this is a totally fine stack to run.
Yeah. Chiefs defense is going to be way too overowned.
You think? Even at 4,500, they're expensive this week.
Yeah, because you don't see them throwing a pick 6. I could totally see him Sam Darney throwing a freaking pick 6.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen because then that decreases the odds of Mahomes having to just chuck it all over the place. I just need Mahomes to have one of those Mahomes games where he just...
No, I think they're going to do it no matter what. They literally do. Yo, the Chiefs are a very disrespectful team. And that's why I love them. This is why I love them. They throw no matter what. When they were dog walking the Ravens, they were throwing every single... They didn't care. They were like, oh, I put my dick out and I put it on your face.
Yeah.
And I'm just rubbing it on.
Yeah. All over the place. Just some of this action.
They don't care. They'll definitely do that, especially to Le'Veon's old team. They'll do it for him.
Yeah, probably.
Like, look, this is what a winning team looked like.
So, yeah, play your Chiefs and bring them back with the cheap Jets.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Are we putting that in this lineup?
That's what you want to start with?
Oh, of course.
All right, well, we'll come back.
We've never done it. Do we ever put my Chiefs in the lineup?
Not yet. We'll come back to it when we do the final lineup. But Rams at Miami. You and I have talked at length about this off camera. What is the line for this game?
I just looked at it. I didn't even notice that. Rams are a 3.5 point favorite. I'm so surprised. Well, no, actually that's a lot because it's Miami at home. So in reality, they're a touchdown favorite.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing.
That makes way more sense to me. I'm like, okay, all right, that makes a lot more sense.
Here's the thing. If the Rams have an amazing record when they travel across country. I always bring that up. I bring it up anytime that we're in one of those situations.
Yeah. That's the reason I know about it.
Look, Jared Goff at Washington, 28 points, smash. Jared Goff at Buffalo, 31 points, smash. Jared Goff at Philadelphia, 24 points, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Jared Goff is fire when he's on the road going across the country for whatever fucking reason.
But isn't Washington on their side? Or is it like is that Washington D.C. or Washington?
Yes, it's Washington D.C.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like Washington, like Seattle, Washington.
No, that would be the fucking Seattle Seahawks.
I didn't know if those two. I'm really bad at
the only team.
I know that's not going to be edited.
The only place. So. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, the only place.
Just make me look like a complete idiot.
The only place that has 2 teams and it's dumb enough to have 2 teams is New York, and we don't need them because they're both not going to make the playoffs.
And Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, that too. But that's new. I'm playing Jared Goff this week against Miami. Everyone's going to be scared to play Jared Goff. Nobody's going to be on him, doesn't care. No one cares about the weather. because this Dolphins defense has been better than expected in the last 2 weeks. And I think people are going to be like, ooh, Jared Goff? Nah, I'm not playing him. And all you got to do is because let me tell you something. The Rams are another one of those disrespectful teams. They like to go up big on teams.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom.
So I like them.
And then if you want to bring it, I don't. This is the thing. Here's my problem. I would like to bring it back with someone because I feel like there's going to have to be points on the other side scored for the stack. But I don't know the quarterback. I don't know Tua's tendencies.
Yeah. Well, I know from when he played in college, he threw a lot to the receivers, but that's because they literally had, I think they had Ruggs, Judy, like they had all of those like
fire.
star receivers.
They had straight fire.
So, but most quarterback tendencies are to throw like to the tight end and to the running back, like most like rookie quarterbacks usually. But I don't know.
This is scary as fuck because I don't want to play Devontae Parker because he'll be matched up with Jalen Ramsey. No, thank you.
Yeah. You go Gesicki. Gesicki might be a.
You could, but and they've been leaky against tight ends, but Gesicki at all times is a pick that is boom or bust.
Boom or bust, yeah, boom or bust, especially for that price too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. At 4,900, like I would rather come down here and take Jonnu Smith at 41, save my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quick question.
This
is a non-DraftKings related question. This is a fantasy football related question. Would you play Bryant from Cleveland or Gesicki from Miami?
Weather considered, you got to play Gesicki.
You think so?
You got to play Gesicki because it looks like the state of Ohio is under weather hail on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll keep close to that just to make sure.
But you have to monitor, and that goes for anybody listening. You have to fucking monitor the weather this week. I will definitely end up saying it 8 more times on this fucking show.
Yeah. So we got the Rams winning this game, right?
I have the Rams winning by a touchdown at least.
Yeah. And then do we think it's going over 45.5? Do you think this might be a high scoring game?
The Rams, it's just like, sell me on Tua. Tell me how do they get their points? How did the Dolphins score?
If he is the quarterback that he would have been 2 years ago, if he would have just never gotten injured, he could look like Baker Mayfield his rookie year. He could be something like that. I could definitely see him being something like that.
Yeah,
100%. But a little better, more accurate.
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, there's only one guy I've seen in this position. There's a few guys, but like the one that stands out is Watson. Like when Watson took the job over, he just destroyed the whole world, and I don't.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't.
And he did it against the toughest defenses, which was the most confusing thing.
I think Tua runs a little bit, but I don't see. He's not like Deshaun Watson, like. But I also don't watch college football like that. But I know of him because a lot of people talk about him.
But I don't like a rookie against one of the top 5 defense. I really don't like a rookie in his first game against the top 5 defense.
If you want to do like just a sleeper pick, like I could definitely you never know. What if he blows up? Like no one's gonna have him on the lineup.
Yeah, but I just don't. What's his ceiling? Do you think this week, like legitimate ceiling?
What his like if we. What do you mean? Like what I think he actually could do, or
like do you think he could score 25 points on the Rams from a fantasy, like 25 fantasy points on the Rams?
25 fantasy points.
That's a lot of points, man. Me neither.
I'm not.
Me neither.
Well, yeah, but for 5,600, I could see him scoring 20.
Honest to God, and I talked to you about this off the show, and I'm not telling people to do this, but there's no reason to not just play Fitzpatrick and think the kid's going to get benched. Because he'll be less than 1% owned, and he'll be able to throw the ball and put up, like, yards on this team. Like, if you were telling me Fitzmagic against the Rams, I would be scared, and I would still probably play the Rams defense, but I would at least expect Fitzmagic to fucking get the yards up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just off of just knowing football, I would never expect them to bench the kid on his very first game. That they're already putting enough pressure, taking Fitzpatrick out while he's playing good and putting the kid in. They're definitely not gonna just take out the kid. That would just be that would be the dumbest move ever. Like,
not disagreeing. I think the whole move is dumb and as a
for sure.
project.
We both agree on that for sure. But after the fact, like after the decision, what they have to do afterwards, I don't think that would, especially not the first game you put them in. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, to me, that's just crazy.
What are you doing with these running backs? Who do you like?
I like Henderson.
Henderson's been getting the most consistent work of all of them. Malcolm Brown stuck in that. He's been vulturing the touchdown. Yeah, Brown was vulturing, but I think I would just play Henderson. But I really think I don't think they're going to try to. I really think they're just going to do the Goff show. I think this is going to be what Goff's done literally every time he's traveled, which is go hard.
Yeah.
So I really like that, and I really think the Dolphins are an exploitable defense, and it's one of the few games with no fucking weather problems.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you just convinced me to bet on the freaking Rams. I forgot about this. I totally forgot about this game, and like I didn't care. When I see games that I don't really care about that much, I kind of like I don't like to bet on games that I don't know too much about or don't really think care too much about.
There are certain teams that I have specific blind spots for that I try to be like. Those are the teams that I kind of send back to you, like San Francisco is a team like that. That I look at and I think that way about them. But the Rams are a team that I love the Rams. I just like what they do. I like the way they think about. I like the way McVay thinks about the game. It's easier. Yeah. Some people say it's really hard to predict what he's going to do, but not for me. For me, I seem to do it pretty easily.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to the afternoon. 3 games in the afternoon slate. So we're driving at like 30 to 35 miles an hour on red zone.
Thanks.
At 4:00. Could be worse, but could also be way better.
Boring ass games too. Like no one gives a fuck. Only one I care about is San Francisco and Seattle because I put 2 bets on
this game right here. I think you're sleeping on, and I think you're sleeping on it because of.
Oh yeah, that's true. That actually could be a high scoring.
This game. Sexual human right here.
Yeah.
Who's doing the Watson, or the guy we were talking about with. This is what. If Tua is going to be a good quarterback, this would be the ideal situation. He comes in and starts doing shit like this.
Yeah. I don't know if Tua has all of...
That's hard.
Has huh?
That's hard. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, but the whole thing is he has weapons, though. You know what I mean? Like, he actually has, like, a lot of weapons that he could use on the offensive side to...
So, you have Justin Herbert. Now, Denver has been getting back a lot of their guys on defense. They got back AJ Bouye last week, which they held Mahomes to 200 yards and a touchdown, which is very bad for him, for his standards.
Yeah, they're the team that has played the best defense. What? Who are you talking about? Chargers, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Chargers has been the best team to play defense on Mahomes this year.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, not Chargers. I'm an asshole. I was talking about
Denver.
I was talking about Denver last week in the snow.
Yeah,
that's my bad. But Chargers too. These are the 2 teams, ironically, that play the best against the Chiefs. And they're in division. I think Herbert is going to try to sling it, but I see this being a more low-scoring game. The only reason why I feel like it won't be is because since Herbert's taken over the job, just points. All the time, every time.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to say, oh, nah, fuck it, that's changing. But I mean, again, another one of these games that may have higher than normal ownership because of the weather situation of a few of the other games on the week.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to do Herbert, Allen, we got to talk about Guyton.
Which running back you like most from that? You like Justin Jackson more or Josh Kelly? Doesn't Justin Jackson get more of the air game? Yeah, he gets sick. Yeah,
a little bit, and then you got Kelly. You got Kelly got a little bit more touches, but it's a split, and when it's a split, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I wanted to talk about on the Denver side in terms of running backs. This is a Melvin Gordon revenge game.
That's a fact. I forgot about that.
And let me tell you something, Dario. You're not alone. I feel like everyone's fucking forgot about it. I haven't heard much of it at all this week. And it's really surprising because Melvin Gordon left this team last year to come to Denver, right? Left them in free agency to come to Denver this year. Not last year, excuse me. And I think he's been getting plenty of volume. Phillip Lindsay is questionable from a concussion. And we're looking at a $5,600 running back who's going to get 20 touches. When Melvin Gordon gets 20 touches, he delivers.
Yeah.
I love Melvin Gordon this week.
That.
I have him in a shit ton of lineups.
And this is a motivated one, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and there's in a week where we're looking for things like that, that's a route in which I'm going. The one I wanted to talk about, I put Guyton in the thing here. I just want to pay attention to this. This guy is a legitimate burner. He shreds people downfield, but he is strictly the downfield guy.
Yeah.
If these targets ever get into the 6 or 7 range, I believe this guy is completely playable because he has the talent. That's really all I wanted to say. I'm not saying if you want to put him in GPP, I think you're good to do that. Basically, why I brought him up. But yeah, if you do that stack and then you bring it back with Gordon, I think you're looking at a really nice off the beaten path stack that looks good, and that will be motivating, I think.
I can see that.
How's Drew Lock been playing since he came back from injury? Not well, right?
One of the most disgusting things that I ever thought was Drew Lock was going to be good. I don't know why I thought that.
This is also a guy who doesn't...
year, no one really saw...
He also doesn't really have all his weapons, though.
Yeah, I guess.
But he has played like shit this year. In the times that he's played.
Yeah.
And the Chargers have been giving up points to people, so... But I think it's the Melvin Gordon week. I would just give it to... I just give it to Melvin Gordon. Are you trying to say something about Drew Lock? Are you trying to say that Drew Lock and the Pussycat are far off?
He's a pussy.
That's fucking good. Well, on that note, let's move on.
I didn't even talk about the bets in that game because no one gives a shit. Oh wow, they got Chargers by 3.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It's about a touchdown. And over on there's 44.5.
Chargers have the better team right now.
Yeah. And the better quarterback too.
Yeah. But yeah, the only one I would look at Denver is Melly Mel, especially with no Lindsay. But okay. Moving on. New Orleans at Chicago. Chicago. I'm gonna guess the line. You got it in front of you?
Okay, wait. One sec, papito. Okay, what the hell is this line? This shit is hiding from me. Okay, I got it. You guess.
I got Saints by 2.
Saints by 5.5.
Damn it! I knew it was gonna be not by 6 or 3. I knew it was gonna be weird because the Bears have like a decent record.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be something weird by like 5, but I guess 2.
And what do you think the over-under is?
Low.
Yeah.
I'll say
42.5.
42.5. Wow.
Oh, damn, I should have let you. My bad.
But still,
Next time I got you. Next time I'll let you.
It doesn't matter. I completely see that because I don't understand how anybody gets yards on either side here. They're going to Chicago. It's going to be fucking freezing. Drew Brees outside, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that much. You got Kamara at 8,200. I don't think he's in a spot to warrant picking him up from Draftkings perspective at 8,200.
Oh yeah, for 82. Yeah, he'll get you your 20 points, but
that's what I'm saying. You want to play him in cash. You want to play him in cash. You play him in cash, of course. Because even without a touchdown here, you got 22 points.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kamara. He's the best running back in the league. To me, I felt that way for a long time.
And their best receiver, too.
And, right now, especially with no Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, wait. That's what I was going to say. Hold on. I got my bad. I have to throw my cat. All right. I need to say this. All right. And I apologize to anybody who watches this show that has Michael Thomas, right?
Oh, man.
But I just want to say fuck you to the person that has Michael Thomas in my league, because that bitch nerve to say to me that I had no good receivers, and she made it seem like she had good receivers, and she had Michael Thomas all year long, and he's given her nothing. So that's good for you people who just care about names and don't really care about fantasy football.
Hey, Dario.
Pay attention to your shit.
Hey, Dario, remember at the beginning of the year when you were like, oh, I can't wait to draft Michael Thomas in all my leagues?
Yeah.
All right. Just as long as we know where your head was at on Michael Thomas before the season started.
That's fine.
Here's the thing. I didn't think Michael Thomas was going to fucking play.
Wait, tell me about Russell. Before you get into all of that, did I draft him on any league?
Well, yeah. Well, that's just because I'm your friend. Let's make something very clear.
All right.
Well, you don't have me as a friend. You're fucked. All right. You're fucked. That's a life lesson we learned. But I didn't think Michael Thomas was going to straight up not play. But 149 catches is hard to fucking top. It's really hard to fucking top. But if you're in season long,
40-point games.
If you're in season long and you can trade for Michael Thomas, I would consider it. I would definitely think about it. From Chicago, does Nick Foles bounce back? New Orleans been giving up yards through the air. Nick Foles capable of playing well.
Yeah.
But has been pretty ass soup.
I just don't know. Like, is he really going to ever give you like 20, 30 points? Like, how often does he do that? Like, I don't know. Like,
I feel you.
I just don't know if he's worth it. Like, especially, I don't know. But I guess with all the shitty matchups that we have this week,
I'm looking at fucking everything.
Yeah.
For that exact reason. Everything. Anywhere I can look and get and sneak out an edge. Is
Allen Robinson playing?
Good question. Was he questionable?
I don't know why. I thought something was up with him. Oh yeah.
He's doubtful against the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, considering that information, there is one guy that is now in play. Darnell Mooney got 7 targets against the Rams, and he was overthrown on a 95-yard touchdown on Monday night against the Rams. He beat Jalen Ramsey down the field multiple times. He is good at wide receiver. If you're telling me he's going to get more targets, that is an auto click for me, because New Orleans is not. They don't have anybody fast enough to cover him down the field, and all Foles needs to do with somebody like that is connect one time.
Yeah.
As we've seen with a guy like Ruggs this year, who's like $1,500 more than Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
If Allen Robinson is not going to play, Darnell Mooney is like a complete smash at at 3,500, like almost minimum salary, completely in play. I love that actually. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
I would hope so. Fucking, let's see. David Montgomery. If you want to play David Montgomery in like a cash game, I think that's safe. But like, that's all it is. You're not getting any kind of a ceiling here.
Yeah.
Saints are pretty good against the run too. So that's really about it though.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, San Francisco at Seattle. I have a really sneaky play, but I want you to talk about the lines from this.
Okay. So, what you want to guess the line or
talk to me about it? Let me take some water.
Okay, gotcha. So the line currently is Seattle's a 3-point favorite at home, so it's literally a pick'em game. And I think, and I personally have San Francisco as my other sleeper to win this week. And I feel like that one's a little crazier than Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh makes sense. But San Francisco is just strictly division. and it's forcing Russ to always be perfect. And I feel like that I don't see him just being perfect every single week.
We saw it last week, right? He really made one real mistake, which led to quite possibly the most athletic thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was amazing.
DK Metcalf catching Budda Baker, who's runs like a 4.3 40 himself. DK Metcalf, who's the size of like a moose.
When you sent me the sound of the play happening and then him running him down, it literally sounded like just the scariest, like a guy, like imagine like a monster running after you down a hall. That's literally what it sounded like.
It was like,
it sounded like
it was like Jason. It was like Jason from Friday the 13th coming at you. It was terrifying. But Russell Wilson is a play every single week.
Yeah.
Because of exactly what you just said. He has to throw. He has to put up multiple touchdowns, or they lose.
Yeah.
Even in a game where he threw 3 interceptions, still had almost 40 points from a fantasy perspective.
The over-under for that is 53.5, and I have that going over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
I think this game is going to be Chalkzilla because of all the different weather things that are going on.
Oh, you think that one's going to be the most
and because of
played?
Yeah, and because of what we saw last week with Russell Wilson really making the biggest difference in several of the high stakes contests or the big entry contests.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that scares me. Here's what I did want to mention. If you do Russell Wilson, hold on 2 seconds. If you do Russell Wilson, Lockett, and Metcalf stack, right, you're going to need a lot of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when we bring guys like Mooney into play. You know what I mean? And then I look at the Jeff Smiths of the world. But we're going to need a bring back guy. Right?
Running back. One of the running backs.
Here's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes. Command.
Sitting down here on injured reserve is Tevin Coleman, who has not been announced yet because I don't know if you know this about Kyle Shanahan. He likes to be really fucking sneaky about his shit. Like last week when he decided, McKinnon wasn't going to play the whole time. We knew that, but we just didn't tell anybody. He's coming off IR. He's going to go right into the Jeff Wilson spot. Tevin Coleman has a history of success in the NFL, and he's been practicing all week. I love Tevin Coleman to get a touchdown in this game. And I think he's going to be super low owned because people are going to see the IR thing and not click on him on principle. Especially because he is an afternoon game guy. So people are really going to be scared to click that because he's he's minimum salary at running back. And he's going to get the same thing that Jeff Wilson got last week. He'll be getting the same looks. And Jeff Wilson completely destroyed.
Yeah. He's smacked. Yeah.
Got all the red zone work. All of it.
It was disgusting. It was disgustingly
sexy. Tevin Coleman is in play for me. And that's how you end up stacking Russ with his 2 main guys. I think there's a chance for both of them to be relevant this week. Not like last week where Metcalf was shut down by Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
I think he gets back to what he was doing before the bye week.
Facts. I agree.
Who else you like?
Do you see Kittle? I think Kittle is another one that if it's going to be a high scoring game, Kittle's going to have to be involved.
He's gotten no less. He got 5 targets in the first game, but after that, no less than 7 targets in any game, and catches a really high percentage of them. They're going to need him. If Russ is coming, if Russ is firing off,
7,000 for the tight end spot is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing.
That's just insane.
But it's against Seattle. That's the reason.
Yeah. Well, it's how often is he? What's his prices usually?
I feel like 65, 68,
he's usually
6,
pretty high. Yeah.
He was 72 in week 1 against Arizona.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And he's their wide receiver 1. That's the main reason. I feel like he's the main guy that throws. Debo's out.
With no Debo. Yeah. But that's the other guy I wanted to bring up.
And Ayuk. What about Ayuk?
He is going to be 30% on this weekend.
Ayuk.
I'm 1,000% sure he's going to be at least 30% owned. He's going to be mega chalk because he's talented as fuck, and they use him all over the place. A guy who will not be super chalk, but will be in the same exact position, is Kendrick Bourne at 3,500. We have a lot of value at wide receiver that we can play with this week.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne has shown a history of getting a decent target percentage and was productive with those targets multiple times. Not just this year, but in previous years. So he's absolutely in play as well. Did I miss anybody?
No, I mean, we didn't really talk about any defenses, really.
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to do that right now when we make this lineup.
When we make this lineup,
So, pick a.
Yo, we got to do my Chiefs for the one time. We never do this.
All right, so then we're going to go Mahomes.
And especially if you feel like the main slate.
I feel like this is the main stack. I feel like the main stack here is going to do work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really like that. Then keep going.
Put Tevin Coleman. Like, let's really put the sleeper shit out.
All right. So we got Tevin Coleman.
That's what we out here for. And we could put our other boy, the Jets boy that you were talking about.
I'm gonna put Mooney over. I'm gonna put Mooney over Smith for this one. If you want to bring it back if you want to do this and bring it back with Barrios, if we do this, we can get really, we can do this. We can
Derrick
do
Henry?
This. And then we can do, and then we just.
Would you put as running back? Wait, we put Henry as running back.
So we do like this.
Yeah, I like Henry over Kamara.
And then for the flex, we can. I got to come down a little bit, but we could do. Yeah. Well, let's pick the defense because you want to talk about defenses, right?
Yeah, your favorite defense for the week is the Rams.
Yeah, by a fucking mile, which is making me like actually kind of nervous. When I like a defense more than any other defense by a lot, that actually isn't a good thing. It's a bad thing for me. It makes me fucking nervous as shit. I think other defenses I could see doing things. Steelers. We talked about them. I think they have the
That's going to be a low-owned one, too.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to want to go against Baltimore's Lamar, for whatever reason.
And then think about all the games that are in these wind shit situations. Like Minnesota and Green Bay. Both their defenses are pretty cheap. Packers 2,900, Vikings 22.
I like Chargers defense too. I can see
Chargers defense against Drew Lock is $4,000.
It is okay.
It's a little, but it doesn't matter. I'm just naming teams you like. Las Vegas and Cleveland with the 30-mile-an-hour winds, both under $3,000.
You could go New England's defense. That'll be a huge sleeper. No one's gonna play that shit.
You think they're gonna be able to do stuff here?
I feel like that's going to be a game that, because everyone is counting out New England.
So then we're sitting at 6,500 in their flex. I love Cooper Kupp out of the guys sitting here.
Oh yeah.
I like Cooper Kupp.
That's especially since you have Goff walling out.
Yeah. I like the Goff.
And Kupp's his favorite. So look, Zip. So we litty. Kupp. We litty. What the?
Yeah, I like this a lot.
It's the first time we use my Chiefs.
So you're hype. All right, so
I'm super hype.
We got Patrick Mahomes, Patty Poop Face. Tevin Coleman, hopefully coming off IR. If he doesn't come off IR, we'll have to change this. But hopefully he comes off IR as he's expected to, and you can play Tevin Coleman at minimum salary. The Beast, Derrick Henry. We have Braxton Berrios to bring back our Chiefs stack, Tyreek Hill, and Kelsey to go with Mahomes. Cooper Kupp, Darnell Mooney, and the Patriots defense. How you feeling?
Feeling good about that. I like that. We got a lot of red in there. That's why I like. We call the Chiefs the Red Sea because you want to know all you're gonna see is red, and it's because blood. It's all blood. It's the blood of the opponents. Yeah, and we want to see our opponents look as sad as Russell just did. Right there, like while they're dead and sad, like.
Ugh. Like you just saw someone vomit, like their entire compliments of their stomach. Just gross.
Yeah.
But for Apex Greatness, I'm Russell Broderick. That's Dario Albuquerque. And we are saying peace.
Peace.